Right now, I want to go to Tim Donnelly, who I know agrees with that. Tim, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Mike. How are you?
Man, I'm really fired up for a lot of reasons. I'm inspired, as I know you are, touring the state, running for governor, and you see all these great patriots who are concerned about our state and country and have these principles that we're losing. It seems like we're losing. So I'm fired up for that, but really annoyed at the state of our education system in California. You want to be governor, what are you going to do?
Well, we need common sense education reform, not Common Core. Common Core is literally dumbing down our standards and taking us backwards. And it's also increasing government control from a strong central government, basically giving the federal government control over what our kids are going to learn. Well, the education's not even in the Constitution as far as something the government ought to be doing. So I don't want to give them control. I want the parents to have control. And you know what this does? I think it really ties the hands of great teachers. We have great teachers in California, all over California, who are trapped in a system designed to fail. Common Core is not going to help them. It's only going to make it worse.
Now, we can talk a lot about Common Core, and we will. But also things that are on the books now and have been on the books for a while. We tried to talk earlier, and we didn't get to it, but Vergara versus California, where you have 9 students who are suing the state of California because, the teachers are the bad teachers can't be fired. So these tenure, they're suing for 3 reasons in particular. The tenure rules, you get tenure after 2 years. 2 years, you can't be fired. The second thing is the dismissal rules. It can take 5 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars to fire a teacher. Tim, you know this fact, that in the last 10 years in California, the most populous state in the country, only 19 teachers have been fired for poor performance. In the last 10 years, only 19 teachers. It's impossible to fire bad teachers. And then the last 10 first out. So what do you make of those 3 laws?
We have 450 teachers right now in teacher jails, in rubber rooms, sitting there getting their pay and their salaries and everything else. Some of them have been accused of some pretty major things, and others have literally just offended the principal or the political system in some way that they're being punished. So here's the deal. You struck at the core of it. Colorado addressed this. Washington, D.C., they tried to do something as well, and they were on the right track. The first thing they did is they figured out a fair way to evaluate teachers that the teachers agreed with, that they bought into. They got 80% of the teachers to agree that they would, instead of being evaluated strictly on the test would only represent 1/3 of their evaluation.
Yeah, makes sense. So we're talking about the bad teachers and how it's impossible to fire them. It takes hundreds of thousands of dollars. Can you change that?
Well, yeah. I mean, we have all these great teachers who are trapped in a system designed to fail, and then we can't get rid of the bad teachers. So if you come up with a way to fairly evaluate teachers, such as they've done in other states, and the teachers buy into it, then you can pay the good teachers more.
Yep.
You can pay the great teachers the most and have them travel around the state and actually teach other teachers, their methods. And then you have a fair way to transition the teachers who shouldn't have spent a single moment in a classroom with our kids and help them find what they were meant to do with their lives.
Such a good point. I think we cut off in the middle of what the thirds were. You said 1/3 on test results.
Yeah, one third is classroom performance evaluated, up to 5 times a year by different evaluators. Mm-hmm. And the other third is professional development. What are you willing to put into your own learning and whether it's methods or curriculum material or what have you. Mm-hmm. That way, the more you put in, the more you get out of it. And not only should we be asking or paying the teachers more, but to give them more control over how they teach.
Sure.
Because then
it's an art.
If they're responsible for the product, why shouldn't they be given the majority of the control over how they produce that product?
Absolutely. We're talking with Tim Donnelly. He wants to be governor. Tim, I want to ask you this question because right now you're an assemblyman. So you have interactions with the California Teachers, Federation of Teachers. I want to read here real quick. This is at the convention of the Teachers Union on March 22nd. Here's the president. He says, the CFT is a beacon of progressive social justice unionism. That's why we have consistently supported single-payer health care reform and progressive tax reform measures. The teachers union is committed to the vision articulated by the civil rights movement and efforts to ensure class, race, and gender equity and the just demands for comprehensive immigration reform. We understand that is central to the mission of public education. That's central to the mission of public education is the need to advocate for a different kind of society. Tell us about the power that the teachers union has in Sacramento right now and how you'll fight that as governor.
Well, what you just read is astonishingly honest.
Yes, exactly.
They don't care about the kids at all. The union could care less. All they care about is advancing a socialist, progressive agenda. They are part of the Marxist progressive labor movement, and the kids be damned.
They barely even care about education. It seems like they're more concerned with health care and immigration.
They put the word education in there once. And look, that's the problem. You have a lot of teachers who just are there because they love the kids. Mm-hmm. They love to teach. They're good at it, but their hands are tied because the union defends the horrible teachers that are molesting kids, teachers that are just a disaster who show up and could care less. And they want more and more teachers so they can extract more dues from them mm-hmm. and then legally bribe politicians so they can increase their numbers and increase their power in the state, but it has nothing to do with anything other than job security.
It's a racket. Our kids are the victims.
Here we are competing with Alabama and Mississippi for dead last, and we're losing ground. California, before Jerry Brown became governor almost 40 years ago, we were the envy of the world.
Yeah.
We were first place in education. Everybody wanted to come here.
Talking with Tim Donnelly. He wants to be governor. Tim, we got to run just about 60 seconds. I want to thank you for issuing this week's video challenge, Freedom Challenge underneath the Liberty Tree. It's a wonderful challenge. The reaction's been fantastic, as expected. Tell us what your challenge is all about.
My challenge is about, look, this economy has really decimated a lot of people because government has become the greatest threat to your economic security. And I want to hear stories, and you want to hear stories about families who have been really decimated by this economy. Mm-hmm. We want to know what you're going through. We want to hear in your own voice because there are millions of people out of work right now, and they're losing hope. And I think it's important that you understand you're not alone.
Great point. And then what people have been doing, they accept the challenge and then leaving their stories and then also their solutions. People have been helping with, like, gosh, I hear that story and I think, gosh, if only we had this policy, then, whatever. And people have been helping each other with different policies that we can stand for and fight for that can help everyone and get us out of this economic mess. I love it. Go ahead.
The founders always knew that the wisdom lie with the people.
Yeah. And the people underneath the Liberty Tree, the wisest of them all, and people who vote for you. Tim, where can people learn more about your campaign?
It's electtimdonnelly.com, electtimdonnelly.com. And you know what? Go on there, make a small donation, tell a friend, share our videos. We are in this to win it. The election is June 3rd, and I need your vote, and I need your help.
All right, let's talk often.
God bless and Godspeed.
Yeah, let's talk often before then. Thanks, Tim. It's Donnelly, 2 N's, 2 L's, Tim Donnelly. And you can download Liberty Tree for free in the App Store. And Tim has got a video challenge for you.